Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, she's one of the top plaintiffs' attorneys in the DFW area. She'll be sharing her story next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, if you watch this show for any length of time, you know I love to feature entrepreneurs. And in the legal world, not every attorney is an entrepreneur, but I have one next to me, Julie Wolf. She's with Wolf Law. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Absolutely. Well, I want to start with your journey. How long have you wanted to be a lawyer?
So it's actually an interesting story. I didn't know I really wanted to be a lawyer. I found out I was graduating early from school at UT. And said, what am I going to do? I thought I wanted to be an educational diagnostician. My major was psychology and my minor was business. Then when I found out I probably needed to go get my PhD, I decided, you know what, I'm not sure I'm into all that writing, so I'm going to try a different route. And I took the LSAT and went to law school, and best decision of my life.
Wow, and Baylor, right?
I went to Baylor Law School, yes, in Waco.
And they train some really sharp attorneys at Baylor, don't they?
Yes, we're known to be trial lawyers. Our entire third year is learning the start to finish of trying a case and every aspect of that. Their goal is when you leave Baylor, you're going to know how to try a case. I've heard from lots of friends who went to other wonderful law schools, you know, the difference, it really is very practical. You can come out, pass the bar, and really get in the courtroom and know what you're doing.
Sure. And so when people are shopping for an attorney, it's wise to know whether they actually have a trial attorney or just somebody who knows how to settle cases.
That's true, yes. And in personal injury, which is what I do, there is 2 aspects of a case. And I think a lot of firms do concentrate on one area or the next. You know, are in some type of accident where you're injured, and we call that pre-litigation, where you're treating and then you submit a demand and try to get the case resolved. Not every case resolves, unfortunately, at that stage, but then you have to have someone who's willing to take your case into litigation, and that means going to try the case at the end of the day if you can't get it resolved.
Sure. I said at the top of the show, she's an entrepreneur. Was it scary to go out on your own?
Oh, yes, 100%. I was at a firm for about 8.5 years, where I did learn how to practice plaintiff's work, because prior to that I did defense work for insurance companies. And I think it really helped me grow as a plaintiff's attorney because I knew both sides. I represented some large corporations and learned that side of the business, and it really helped. But it is very scary because guess what? In order to have a business, you have to have clients.
Sure. So
you have to have people either seeking you out or referring cases to you because, you know, they know you.
I have to imagine you're very popular because you have battled against insurance companies and also in the past represented insurance companies. You kind of know where their pain points are, don't you?
Yes, and I think really if you research me and you look into my background, we try to highlight that really is something that's very important. Because you have to know how people think, right? Whether it's an insurance company, an insurance adjuster, a corporation, a lot of their decisions are business decisions. So if you know where those little pinpoints are to show them, you know, the faults of their case, or that this would be a better business decision for them to settle the case versus to try it and risk it,
Sure.
That's how you get the cases resolved.
Okay, we're going to pull up your website because I'm impressed with the team that you've assembled. I want you to brag about your team.
Oh, I have the most wonderful team. We always laugh because I say, even though the firm is Wolf Law, I'm really not the boss because I could not do it without my wonderful team. I've got a case manager. His name's Daniel, and he helps when new clients come in, he will get them into medical treatment. He will help coordinate it, and he speaks to them all the way through, which is always a very hard process when you're in some kind of accident and are in pain. I have my amazing paralegal, Denise. She has been with me for many, many years. She came with me from my last firm and made the scary jump to the new firm. I remember saying to her, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pay you. But
that was your Jerry Maguire
right,
moment.
exactly. But I promise it's going to be worth it at the end of the day. And I think hopefully that she would say that it is. And then I have an amazing associate attorney who started with me when she graduated from SMU and has grown. She's been with me now for 2 years. And then we have a medical records clerk. That position kind of rotates depending,
Sure.
In the field. And I also have a second office in Grand Prairie, where I have an amazing case manager, Gloria. And we service the Grand Prairie community as well.
Wow, and you've done very well for your clients. We're going to pull up your settlements page and scroll down. I mean, some of those are some big numbers. when you look at those numbers, you're like, I did that. We did that.
I'm very proud. We had a really, really great year last year, and we're hoping to continue. I've been in business for about 4 years now.
Sure.
And, each year we grow. Each year I build relationships. Clients have trust in me. That's, a referral from a previous client is
Sure.
the best gift, that they trust me. Also, attorneys, whether they're personal injury attorneys or, criminal law or family law or civil law, and they don't handle personal injury. They refer me cases because they trust me. They send their family, their friends.
I'm going to put you on the spot because I know you've been practicing for a long time. Do you have kind of a Aaron Brockovich? Do you have your favorite case of all time that you look back on and say, man, this is, if it weren't for our hustle and ingenuity, we couldn't have had this kind of outcome? I
think that I have, most people will tell you, I don't know if it's a flaw or a good thing, but a very soft heart. So, I always say I probably couldn't practice family law because I might cry every day in the courtroom. But personal injury is almost just as hard. You have people who, are injured and they can't work and they can't afford to pay their rent. So I would say, I have a few cases that where clients were just so injured, they could not work, they had no money, they were being evicted from their places that they lived. Family wasn't talking to them. I had a case last year, and I think it's featured on my website. It was a slip and fall at an apartment complex. My client was going to visit his sister, and they had been doing some plumbing work. And I think it was like a low-income condominium, and they just weren't doing what they were supposed to. And the raw sewage had been seeping on the property for weeks, and it was not getting fixed. And my client was going to see his sister for Thanksgiving and slipped and fell and broke his back. And he had to have 2 different surgeries. He could not walk. He had no one to take care of him because just horrible story. Of 2 years before that, his wife had been killed in a car wreck. Wow. And my heart just bled every day for him. Sure. We worked very, very hard. There was a couple of defendants in that case, the plumbing company, the management company, the owners of the apartments. We had to litigate very hard to prove it. But I think that was the most meaningful case to me because I knew what it would mean to get that case resolved. And we actually did. And it took a lot of depositions and a lot of discovery, but we got it done. And I would say that case is really the most meaningful to me because when I can help someone really in need, that's what this is about.
That's wonderful. And I have to imagine with your reputation, when the other side sees that you're on the case, they know that you can litigate, and that makes a difference.
Yes, absolutely. So I have a lot of friends in the industry, especially on the defense side. And when they know you, we kind of laugh. There's a firm that represents Kroger that has all the Kroger cases, and they know me very well. And I have a lot of Kroger cases and slip and falls at Kroger. And they say, when they see my name, they're like, "Oh, well, here comes Julie. We know her tricks. We know what she's going to do. We know we're not going to win on summary judgment, so we better get ready." And and in this business, there's a way to get rid of cases early called summary judgment. And, I'm proud to say that I haven't lost on summary judgment, since I started my firm. And
Wow.
in these premise liability cases, which are slip and fall cases or trip and fall cases, it's very common for the defense to file those.
Yeah, let's talk about integrity, because Dallas is still kind of a small town, especially when you're talking about the judges. When you go into a courtroom, the judges, and they know your reputation.
Yes, it's very important to have integrity in this business. The minute you're caught making representations to the court that aren't true, you lose all your credibility. I would like to say that all the judges trust me. The bench, changes considering people move up to the appellate courts or lose an election or whatnot. But, most of the judges, at least in Dallas County, know me. I support them. Collin County, Denton, Tarrant, I work in all those counties. And it is very important to show that you have integrity and credibility, and not make arguments to the court that you can't support with the law.
Absolutely. You've been an amazing guest. We're going to end with the website, which is wolflawpllc.com. The great Julie Wolf. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Jeff, for having me.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.